and you have to be stupid to buy this bike. Yeah, there's some noise which I don't really like. Does it feel worse than the first time I rode it? Well, honestly, probably. Hello everybody, what is going on? Welcome to the channel. As you can see, we have these beautiful motorcycles, but today we're gonna talk about my favorite ZONTES 150km.h.
Right guys, the reason why I decided to make this video is because I really want to see whether this bike is reliable or not. Just now I spoke to the staff and they've said that there are a few issues with the bike. First, there is a minor oil seepage, which means that the small amount of oil is leaking. It's not a big issue, but it's something to watch. Second, the screen sometimes doesn't light up immediately when you restart the bike. It's just a little glitch, I guess. Third problem is the stator coil, which helps charge the battery. It had to be replaced after 7, maybe 8,000 kilometers. So these are the main issues so far.
I'm really excited. Oh yeah. Ooh, it's very stiff. It's stiff. Okay, first gear. Oh, so nice. So smooth. Oh, yeah, I know that I'm just riding on the parking lot, but I'm smiling the way I was smiling before. I remember the first time I rode this bike, I didn't expect much, and this bike blew me away. We'll see whether I'll have the same feelings this time. It's fast, smooth, and I would say aggressive. Oh yo, it's so freaking light. Mighty powerful motorcycle. So much faster, so much more powerful than 675 SR. It's not even close. The flickability of this bike is the most surprising part. Power delivery is extremely linear, no power dips at all. So power delivery is way better than on 675. I don't know, it feels just as fast as before. This motorcycle is really narrow, so you can split the traffic the same way you did on 675 SR. And guys, it's probably the most confidence-inspiring super sport from a Chinese manufacturer to the date. It feels to me as if I can put it absolutely anywhere I want. And again, dude, the first time I rode it, I could not articulate the difference. But now I see that it's not only about the frame, it's also about the suspension. It feels so much better. Yeah, can you hear that? I'll not speak you can just listen. There's some buzzing. When I go slow in the second gear, I hear some buzzing coming from the engine. It doesn't have any vibrations. Buzzing doesn't necessarily mean vibrations, but yeah, there's some noise which I don't really like, and you would feel the noise, you would hear the noise when you go relatively slow, I would say. Yeah, upon the acceleration, when you go a little faster, you don't hear the buzzing, you just hear this beautiful inline 3 engine sound. Can you hear that? Yeah, throttle response is probably the only thing which CF Moto 675 SR does better. Yeah, and this motorcycle is a little jerkier than 605 SR. But again, it's not that it's jerky, it's not jerky, but it's less predictable. I remember I was saying that the power delivery is super linear and very predictable, and I would not take it back. But when you ride in a city after 9,500 kilometers, it doesn't feel as smooth, it doesn't feel as predictable, and it feels a little more jerky. And I would say that the throttle response has suffered a little after 9,500 kilometers. But only at slow speed. When you go fast, this bike is still a bullet. It feels incredibly fun, incredibly powerful. Engine feels very linear, very predictable, super consistent. I don't know. But the buzzing which you would experience at slow speed is something you would notice. I don't know. I don't like it, honestly. On 605 SR, we didn't have any buzzing. And probably deceleration on 605 SR would feel a little better as well. But again, it's all about the throttle. Just throttle response on 605 SR and on CF Motos in general is flawless, is super good. Let's try to brake. Yeah. If you would be considering ZONTES 703, please consider a motorcycle with Brembo brakes. It'll be 2,000-3,000 more expensive, but these brakes aren't bad. They feel a little better than on 605 SR, but still, I would definitely prefer Brembo calipers. As I was upshifting with the quickshifter just now, there was this dip in power. 605 SR also had the same problem. Quickshifter is really good. It works every single time, but it's not flawless. Again, do I like it? Yeah, I do. Overall, the bike still feels good. On my 605, we had what? 4,000 kilometers on the odometer, and bike felt good, but it became slower. It started burning oil. This bike doesn't burn oil, but it was indeed leaking oil, which is not very pleasant. And on top of that, as I've said, we had this electronics problem. Actually, I spoke to the guys from the place where I ran the bike, and they've told me about all the problems, but my Chinese isn't as good as I wish it to be, so probably I'll just ask ChatGPT to translate and explain everything.
One, stator coil replacement at 7,000 kilometers. The stator coil, which is part of the bike's charging system, and needed to be replaced around the 7,000 kilometer mark. This component helps generate electricity for the bike, so it's an important part. Display issue when restarting. There's a known quirk with the bike's display where if you turn off the engine and then quickly restart it, the screen might not light up immediately. It's a bit of a glitch, but usually not a major issue. Slight oil seepage around 8,000 to 9,000 kilometers. At this mileage, a bit of oil seepage was noticed around the engine cover. It's not uncommon and usually can be fixed by tightening bolts or replacing a gasket if needed.
Not a single time in my life was I able to lean the bike that effortlessly in a parking lot. Honestly, this bike is so easy to ride, it's so easy to lean. It gives you way more confidence than you deserve. Not a single time in my life was I on a track. Not a single time. The only place where I can try to go hard is in twisties, but the twisties which are available to me are full of cars and blind corners, so I cannot go real hard. But on this bad boy, you feel good even on the parking lot. I don't feel as confident on any other sports bike. And the weight of this bike is 198 kilograms. It might sound like a lot, but just because of the super stiff aluminum frame, it feels incredibly capable. It's way more capable than any other motorcycle I've ridden. Yeah, guys, 675 SR is not even close. The power of ZONTES is truly addictive. It feels much more powerful than 675 SR. As I've said before, this bike feels as if it just doesn't belong to the same class. Even though we have pretty much the same displacement, the price of the bike is the same. So it's supposed to compete with 675, but guys, I'm not gonna lie, this bike is so much more powerful. The only thing that CF Moto 675 SR has over this bike is probably the throttle response. In sports mode, it's a little jerky and it's a little less smooth. As I've said, now after 9,000 kilometers, when I ride slowly in the second gear, when I slightly tweak the throttle, I hear some buzzing coming from the engine. And this is something I don't really like, but is it bad? Is it super noticeable? No. Ooh. All right. Huh. Well, what do we have? Well, 0 to 100 is not good at all. It's like 3.98 seconds. And 0 to 150 is 7.4. All right, let's try to launch more aggressively. Right, what do we have? All right, 3.7. Ooh. All right, guys. Well, what do we have? All right, yeah, better. 3.86 from 0 to 100 and 7.28 from 0 to 150. After I've launched the bike a few times, my launch got a little better, but again, it's not as fast as before. Oh, dude, what the hell? Whew. All right, guys. 0 to 150 was sub 7 seconds. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, 3.7 seconds. The clutch is not slipping for sure. Maybe clutch plates are worn. I have no idea, but there's no smell. The clutch engages where it's supposed to engage. We tried to launch the bike a few times. My best result was 3.7 seconds from 0 to 100 and 7.28 or something from 0 to 150. Well, ZONTES got a little slower as well. In the end of the day, it's not as substantial. 0 to 150 is still kind of alright, but it's what, 0.4 seconds slower than before. The traction is supposed to be better because we're in summer. Last time we were riding the ZONTES, we were riding in winter. Actually, when I launched the bike from 0 to 100, it feels to me as if bottom end torque got a little worse, and the throttle response isn't as smooth as before. My final thoughts about ZONTES 703RR. Is it slow? No, it's not slow. The power and the acceleration still scares me. But is it as fast as before? Honestly, it does feel very fast. If you would ask me, I would never say that the performance has declined. But numbers don't lie. Quick disclaimer, I did not launch the bike as many times, and probably if I would give it a few more shots, my acceleration would become better. Speaking about the suspension, I would say that it's much better on this bad boy, just because we're talking about sports bikes, and on ZONTES, suspension would give you way more feedback, so it's more responsive. You feel more control, but if you're looking for comfort, probably 605SR would be better. But dude, come on, you're buying a sports bike. Why the hell do you think about the comfort, right? But, by the way, yeah, let's talk about comfort. I still feel like ZONTES 703 strikes this unique balance of being a very comfortable motorcycle, which is still more capable in terms of twisties or a track. So this bike would be more comfortable. The suspension is stiffer, the frame is stiffer, so it's way more capable. But still, ergonomics wise, it'll be more comfortable. Would I choose this bike in 2025 over 605SR? Yes, every single freaking day of the week. I still feel like this bike isn't perfect, but for 41,800 RMB, this is as good as it gets. Is it as good as I thought? Yes. I guess the main question is, does it feel worse than the first time I rode it? Well, honestly, probably yes. It's a little less smooth, and in the end of the day, based on draggy, our acceleration has declined a little. What do you think about reliability in general? I don't know, guys. I personally believe that ZONTES is more reliable than CF Moto this time. It's a revelation for me, because the first time I heard about this brand and about this motorcycle, my expectations were so low. I truly thought that you have to be stupid to buy this bike. I was like, who the hell is gonna buy ZONTES over CF Moto 675SR? And I ate my words like never before. Some people claim that this aluminum frame is too brittle, so you don't really want to get into an accident. I would argue that you don't really want to get into an accident on any bike. Every single motorcycle which features an aluminum frame would have the same issue. This was my humble revision of ZONTES 703RR. Please tell me what you think about this bike. Do you think that the reliability of this bike is better than CF Moto's? What do you think about the performance? What do you think about this decline in performance? Tell me everything. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and as always, I'll see you in my next videos. Bye everybody, take care.